let me just get it out of the way. Like, neither one of these guys wins that fight. You know what I mean, dude? Only winner of that fight is going to be everyone sitting on the couch watching it. Like
us.
That is going to be such a barn burner that I cannot wait. I cannot wait. Right now, as of this moment, that's the most hyped fight for this year for me.
I love that fight, man. I love that fight. It's another tough matchup. Gaethje only gets the best guys, and I think Dan has put himself back into that picture. You know, he had some setbacks for a while, and it looked like maybe the best years were behind him. But recently, got a few new tattoos and comes back a whole different man. You know, and momentum's a hell of a thing. And I think it's truly on the side of Dan Hooker going into this one. I love Justin Gaethje, but you know, and he knows it. He's the first to admit that his career can't be as long as some others because of the way he fights. But that's a banger.
Like, I know full well that it's two fighters that in there that are either going to win or they're going to go out on the shield. They're going to die trying. There's two fighters that step in there prepared to die and have accepted that and who are at peace with that. That's why the fans are so excited for this fight. That's why I'm excited for this fight. So it's I either win or I go out swinging. That's the two ways that this ends.
I am worried about the kind of damage both of them will probably take in this one. And I know this is what they do for a living. The commission will check them ahead of time. All the protocol is going to be there. I understand that. But this is one of those kinds of fights where, yeah, it could end early, but if it doesn't, these two are going to tear each other to pieces. And I have to tell you, that gives me, honestly, if I'm being truly honest with myself, it actually makes me a little bit fearful for them. These guys have been around so long, and Gaethje is coming off of the worst knockout loss of his life. I am legitimately terrified for them. I mean that. I'm actually not even doing a fucking bit.
And listen, Justin Gaethje, if anybody knows how to rebuild back, it's Justin Gaethje, because we saw what happened after he taken a loss to Eddie Alvarez, the tear he went on. We saw what happens after he lost to Dustin Poirier, the tear he went on. And now after Max Holloway, you know, let's see what he does do. So I'm excited for that fight.
Both their styles are just fan appealing.
Yep.
You know exactly what you're getting with both guys. Dan Hooker just fought Gamrot, correct? That was his last fight. What a tough guy to beat. Let's not forget, Gamrot beat Arman Sarukian. Right, and Jalin Turner's a great win too. I think we know what we're getting there. We're getting ultimate violence. We're going to get two guys that are going to come forward and they're going to swing for the fences. I really like this kind of run that Dan Hooker's on. It's things are falling his way, and he's been in there with some real. Jalin Turner and Gamrot are impossible to deal with. Like, those are two totally opposite styles, and he's figured it out. So he's really on the rise, and then we're going to see Justin Gaethje come back and try to, you know, kind of erase that Max Holloway loss. And I don't suspect he fights any different. I think we're going to get the same exact Justin Gaethje.
Well, again, if there's one thing that I give Gaethje credit for, he understands, hey, I need time off. He takes the time off. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do a whole lot to, get himself where he's getting touched. And so he's very smart as far as taking care of himself after the wars that he's had. That last one against Max that's one of those car crashes that it's going to leave a dent in your car for a long time, though. And it's not going to go away. But yeah, I agree with you.
I feel like this is a scrap, man. I tell you what, Gaethje does not like Hooker. Hooker does not like Gaethje, and I think that's just going to equal violence. This is a tough one for Justin too, is because once you see somebody get defeat, it gives you like a courage. It gives you like, all right, man, I just got to weather the storm. With a guy like Justin Gaethje, if I'm more technical, if I'm able to check my kicks, if I'm not able to get kicked and shit like that, and Hooker's got good striking, man. And for as much as I call, I got nicknames for him, the dude could strike, dude. And the dude was able to beat a guy like Gamrot, who is very heavy in the wrestling, a guy that beat Arman Sarukian. I mean, that says a lot, dude. So I think the fight, I think the people's main event is really, it's gonna be Gaethje versus Hooker, bro.
Bro, I know Dan. You know Dan.
Yes, man.
It's like we're gonna have a great game plan for Justin, but then once that, let's get it on.
Yeah.
And then once they touch leather to face,
Yeah.
those game plans are out the way. It's just gonna be a straight. I know it's, you know, we know it's gonna be crazy, and they're gonna stress out.
They're talking about the Hangman. The Hangman's my favorite fighter. Nobody I'd rather watch than Dan Hooker fight. So, how did we get here? And where do we go from here? And there's some fights that are so hard. It's important that we have that answer, because your standard answer of we're going to entertain the crowd tonight and we're going to give you a check at the end of it. There's some fights that are so hard and lend to a potential of damage so strongly that a reward has got to be. And so where are you going to go from there? Like, there is no way around that fight being a bludgeoning. When you have a fight of this magnitude, I do have a question, which is why. And maybe I'm not owed an answer. Maybe I don't need to understand. Maybe the applause of an audience and a paycheck is enough, but that seems like a career-changing fight. Dan Hooker doesn't do this nicely. He doesn't know how to do this gently. Justin Gaethje is the opposite of nice and gentle. That's a big fight, guys.
You know, Dan Hooker is a guy, man, he's tough as hell. I just don't like the stylistic matchup for him in this fight. Mm-hmm. Justin is, you know, Justin does a lot of things that he's a rhythm fighter, and he's got certain things that he goes to all the time, as far as, you know, when he does a low leg kick and then he'll sit there and throw their overhand right to the hook. He just does these things over and over and over. But when he hits you, everyone you can see goes, ooh, that has an impact. Dan Hooker is long, he's lanky, but he's going to be in a stand-up fight here. He's not going to try to take Justin down. That's not who he is. And they're going to just sling leather until one of them goes to sleep. And I'm being honest right now, I still look at Justin Gaethje as just the better overall stand-up fighter. But it should be a great matchup.
Yeah, I feel stupid kind of talking about a Justin Gaethje Dan Hooker fight, like trying to break it down. Like, who gives a shit? Trying to work it, like they're gonna say, well, who's gonna win? Like, who's the better striker and who's gonna slip and rip, and like, who gives a shit? Who cares? Let's just watch it. Like, let's just build up the fact that they're doing it. Let's not get too wrapped up into let's not get too deep in the forest about, you know, who's the technically better guy here and who's the better kicker and whose footwork is better. Like, who gives a shit?
That's got fight of the year written all over it, hasn't it? Gaethje and Hooker. Both guys bring it. I will stop and watch both guys fight any time of the day. Do you know what I mean? They will bring the heat. Anytime they step in there, you know it's going to be fireworks for these guys. So, not expecting a technical masterclass from either guy. Both guys absolute veterans in the sport. Both guys got massive wins, massive losses. And yeah, just going to see them guys just go in there and beat each other up. Potentially 25 minutes, which is going to be a lot of fun.
This is another crack at one of those top 5 elites of the lightweight division. You know, he's challenged for his compete for a title. He's won an interim championship. So yeah, I'm very appreciative that he kind of accepted a fight off me. I know. I feel like there's far less dangerous fights for him out there. So credit to him for and his team for accepting this fight. It's just really excited for it's just one of those fights, you know, it's one of those fights that gets the fans on the edge of their seat. So, oh man, I can't wait to get out there in front of a live audience and put it all on the line.